Hello aspirants. So in this video, we will be looking at daily MCQs formed from Indian Express and the Hindu newspaper. Then we will look at current affairs part where I'll try to explain the news items. And also we will look at examples and data mains from today's newspaper. So these are the three aspects that we will be looking for in this video. Now my mode of operation will be I'll give you 5 MCQs. Try to attempt all these MCQs and mention your scores down in the comments. Then I'll go for these two aspects, and in the end, I'll give you answers of the daily MCQs. So let's get started. So the first question is choose correct statement about Uniform Civil Code. Statement 1, it is DPSP, that is Directive Principle of State Policy, under Indian Constitution, added via 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Statement 2, currently no state in India follows Uniform Civil Code. Your options are 1 only, 2 only, both, and none. Pause the video, try to attempt this question. Question 2, which are correct statements about 8th schedule? Statement 1, it deals with number of seats in Council of States, that is Rajya Sabha. Statement 2, schedules are not part of Constitution. Your options are 1 only, 2 only, both, and none. Moving forward, question number 3, choose incorrect statements about Europe. Statement 1, Black Sea borders with Moldova. Statement 2, Ukraine borders Russia on its west side and Moldova on its east side. Your options are 1 only, 2 only, both, and none. Question number 4, which are correct statements about electoral bond scheme? Statement 1, all political parties registered under RPA 1951, that is Representation of People Act 1951, are eligible to receive funding under it. Statement 2, electoral bonds are valid for a period of 15 days from its issue. Your options are 1 only, 2 only, both, none. Last question of the day is, consider correct statements about Pangong Taso Lake. It is located in Uttarakhand. Statement 2, it is designated as Ramsar site for wetland conservation. And your options are 1 only, 2 only, both, none. So these are the 5 questions. Comment your scores in the comment section. Now let's move forward with current affairs part. So today is 30th October. So the first news item is related to GS2 polity. Ahead of elections, Gujarat announces plan to bring in Uniform Civil Code. Now Gujarat government has formed a committee to look into Uniform Civil Code and its application in the state. Now Gujarat has become second state in recent times to form a committee after Uttarakhand to form committee on this matter. Now from prelims point of view, let us understand about Uniform Civil Code. So Uniform Civil Code. So the mention of Uniform Civil Code is under Article 44, where it states that states shall endeavor to enforce Uniform Civil Code throughout the country. It comes under Directive Principle of State Policy, Part 4 of Indian Constitution. So basically, it means having uniform civil laws in our nation. For example, matrimonial disputes, inheritance laws, etc. So currently, only Goa have Uniform Civil Code, and no other Indian state have Uniform Civil Code apart from it. So keep these facts in mind from prelims point of view. Now moving forward, another news item related to 8th schedule. Include Rajasthani in 8th schedule, minister to center. Now, Rajasthan government has been continuously insisting on including Rajasthani in 8th schedule. So let us understand about 8th schedule. So 8th schedule deals with official languages. We have total 12 schedules. In it, there are total 22 languages recognized so far. But initially, at time of framing of our constitution, only 14 languages were recognized. And this list was expanded via 21st Constitutional Amendment Act, where Sindhi was included, then 71st, in which Konkani, Manipuri, and Nepali was included, and latest amendment being 92nd, where Bodo, Dogri, Maithili, and Santhali were included. So total 8 languages were included in these last 75 years. So currently we have total 22 languages in 8th schedule. And Rajasthani language to be included in 8th schedule. So these are the demands from the state Rajasthan. So these details are important from claims point of view. Now moving forward, there is another news item related to polity, where it says parties get 545 crore through electoral bonds ahead of Himachal Pradesh Gujarat elections. Now, electoral bonds is very important from our exam point of view because news related to it comes very frequently. So let us understand about it. So electoral bonds are basically bonds for donation to political parties. So eligibility criteria is a political party registered under RPA Act 1951 plus those political parties which have received at least 1% of total votes polled in last general elections, be it state legislative assembly election or parliament elections. So these are the two conditions for being eligible to receive donations through electoral bonds. Now, who can issue these bonds? SBI issues these bonds to those who wants to donate to political party. Feature is anonymity. Anonymity feature of these bond is an important feature which prevents donors harassment by political parties. These bonds are valid for 15 days from its issue by SBI. So these are some details that needs to be keep in mind from prelims point of view. So the next news item is related to doctrine of pleasure. So the context behind it is there has been many differences between Kerala governor and state government in recent past, and the latest being the resignation demand by governor from vice chancellors of 9 universities after Supreme Court judgment of setting aside appointment of vice chancellor of a university in Kerala. And in that regard, state finance minister has made some comments, and in response to that, Kerala governor has said that he has withdrawn the pleasure of having him in council of ministers. So this is controversy that what is the meaning of doctrine of pleasure in our constitution, which is demanded by Kerala governor. So doctrine of pleasure is mentioned in our constitution couple of times. One being under Article 310, where defense personnel and civil service of the union members hold office under doctrine of pleasure of president under center and governor in states. Similarly, under Article 164, governor appoints chief minister and then appoints other ministers on advice of chief minister. So basically, it means the pleasure doctrine in these circumstances does not mean governor's own will, but it means advice tendered by CM and Council of Ministers. So here also it says that under the constitution, the pleasure referred to is taken to mean the right to chief minister to dismiss a minister. The governor of Indian state cannot remove a minister on his own. So that is the meaning of doctrine of pleasure. Now moving forward, another news item is related to international relations, where citing drone attack on Crimea, Russia halts Ukraine Black Sea grain exports. So due to ongoing war crisis, there was food shortage in Ukraine, and as a result, UN brokered a deal with Russia Ukraine to supply grains from Russia to Ukraine. But recent attacks on Crimea, which is occupied territory of Russia, Russia has halted the grain exports to Ukraine, which were happening through Black Sea. Now let us see the geographical position of Russia Ukraine. So this is Black Sea, this is Russia, this is Ukraine, and this is Crimea, which was annexed by Russia in 2014. Now Russia was transporting the grains through Black Sea to Ukraine. So that is halted by Russia. Now, from prelims point of view, let us understand the geographical position of countries around Black Sea. So Black Sea is surrounded by Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, not Moldova because it is a landlocked country, Russia, Georgia, and Turkey here. So these facts needs to be keep in mind. Now moving forward, the next news item is related to China, India. So China continues work to upgrade roads opposite Eastern Ladakh. So there was a crisis at LAC between India and China for a couple of years, but recently it has been resolved. But still, China continues to work to upgrade its road in this region. So from prelims point of view, let us understand few facts. So this line is LAC, that is line of actual control, which is not agreed by India. This is not mutually agreed line, but as China occupied up to this region in 1962 war, so this line becomes line of actual control, and this is Pangong Taso Lake. So some part of it in Indian territory, which is occupied by India currently, and some part of it is in China occupied Indian territory. So this fact is important. And apart from that, if you see that this is Siachen Glacier, which is strategically very important to monitor the situation across the border. This is Saksagam Valley that is given to China by Pakistan, and this is Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and this complete region is Kashmir. So let's move forward. This news item is related to GS3 security, where it is saying that terror activities in J&K since 2021, India tells UN panel. So currently UNSC meeting is going on where India has presented some facts on J&K, where it is saying that there were 600 terror camps across J&K in mid 2018, which came down to 150 in the middle of 2021. But from 2021 to September 2022, the number of terror bases sharply increased to 2 to 5. So basically, India is saying that initially there were around 600 camps. It came down to 150, and now it is increasing again. And the reason given by India is that between 2018 to 2022, Pakistan was under FATF's grey list, and that is why there was curb in finances to these bases, and that is how India was able to eradicate them. But since this FATF has removed Pakistan from grey list, so Pakistan has started funding these camps again, and that's why they are proliferating. So this data can be used for mains security purposes in GS3. Now, the last news of the day is related to GS3 environment. So the Conference of Parties 27, COP27 is going to be held in Egypt in November 2022 to discuss the climate related issues. Now let us understand the history of the Conference of Parties. So these Conference of Parties occur under United Nations Framework for Climate Change, which has 198 members. The first COP was held in 1995 in Berlin. Some of the famous COPs are COP3 1997, where Kyoto Protocol was adopted to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Then COP21 in 2015, or Paris Pact, where countries agreed to keep global warming below 2 degrees centigrade, ideally not more than 1.5 degrees centigrade compared to pre-industrial levels. And third is Glasgow Pact, that is in COP 26 held in 2021. It called for phasing down of unabated coal power to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Now the agenda of upcoming summit, basically its point of action would be to accelerate the global climate action through emissions reduction, scaled up adaptation efforts, and enhanced flow of appropriate finances. So this will be major focus in the upcoming Conference of Parties summit. So these are the news items for the day. Now let's move to the last part, that is answers to our MCQs. So the first question was correct statement about Uniform Civil Code. It is directive principle of state policy, that is true. Added via 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. No, it was present since beginning. So this statement is wrong. Statement 2, currently no state in India follows Uniform Civil Code. This is also wrong because Goa follows Uniform Civil Code. So this is also wrong. So the answer is D, none. Moving forward, question number 2. Which are correct statements about 8th schedule? It deals with number of seats in Council of States. No, we have discussed that 8th schedule deals with languages. So this is wrong. Find out which schedule deals with number of seats in Council of States. Now statement 2, schedules are not part of constitution. This is also wrong because schedules are part of a constitution, because constitutional amendment act are being done to include number of items in these schedules. So both are wrong. Answer is D. Moving forward, Question number 3. Choose incorrect statements about Europe from below. Black Sea borders with Moldova. As we have discussed in the video that Black Sea does not borders with Moldova, rather Moldova is a landlocked country. So this is wrong. Ukraine borders Russia on its west side and Moldova on its east side. Now, if you look at map of Ukraine, Russia borders on its east side and Moldova on its west. So here I have interchanged both. So this is also wrong. Since the question is asking about incorrect statement, so our answer is C, that is both. Now moving forward, which are correct statement about electoral bond scheme? All political parties registered under RPA 1951 are eligible to receive funding. It is wrong because this is one condition. Along with it, minimum 1% of votes is also the condition. So this is wrong. Electoral bonds are valid for a period of 15 days. Yes, that is true. 15 days is the validity of electoral bonds. So the answer is 2 only. And last question of the day, consider correct statements about Pangong Tasole. It is located in Uttarakhand. No, it is located in Jammu and Kashmir. And second, it is designated as Ramsar site for wetland conservation. No, it is not designated because some of its part is located in China occupied Kashmir and some of part is in India's Kashmir, and that is why it is not part of Ramsar site. So the answer is D. So that's all for the day. If you find this video helpful, then please like this video, subscribe to the channel for more current affair videos.